too. What up, though, Detroit and online? It's your girl, Christina, and I got, of course, my co-host.
I'm Gardy.
Yeah, you can find him on Instagram. And you are watching T in the D live audience recaps with the cast. And who do we have over here? My homie, the big Giraffe Show. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you, Christina. Well, like she said, I want to welcome everyone to the Ready to Love Detroit episode 6 recap show.
Yes, we in there.
Yes.
Well, I'm not in there anymore.
It had a lot of twists and turns and something that we didn't expect, and we're going to get into all of that. Let me fill you in on who we have with us. To my right, we have Mr. Devon. I'm sorry, my left. Devon, clap it up for him.
Woo! And tell them where they can find you, Devon.
They can find me right here.
Yeah, let him get the mic.
There you go.
You can find me on Instagram at Devon Writes the Script. That is DEVON Writes the Script.
Awesome.
Find me there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Devon. And to my real right is Xavier. And where can they find you?
Xavier G_official.
And y'all, listen, that is a new page, so give him a round of applause.
Follow him.
Definitely follow him. And in case you don't know, you can find, well, you know what? Let's go ahead and give Cardi, because, Cardi's is simpler.
Okay, yeah, mine is I'm Cardi. So IMCARDE on all socials.
Yes, now I'm going to give you a whole list. Okay, you can find me on Instagram at INA_LIS, but you also want to follow T in the D page and make sure you subscribe, because each and every Friday, we are going to give you, baby, the T in the D, especially on the recaps of Ready to Love Detroit. That's TEA space IN space THE space D. Simple. And don't forget, I did just drop a new single, so, okay, because if y'all didn't see that performance, y'all gonna have to rewind or fast forward, however we edit it.
Yeah, make sure you guys stream that song. She gave us a performance before we began today, and you were great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
I
for the
really
performance.
appreciate that.
Now getting to episode 6, episode 5, it left us with a cliffhanger, and we opened episode 6 with the interesting plot twist. We found Donna and Christina on the red carpet, and we was left at the beginning of this episode trying to ready to find out who was not ready to love, it just happened to be our girl Christina.
Dun, dun, dun.
Now, with that being said, we're going to start there. We're going to start there. With that being the case at the beginning of the episode, let's just get your thoughts on what happened.
So go ahead on, Will Packer. I appreciate y'all, because listen, even with those wild, and I will say wild because like the context and the backstories really allowed more understanding to my conversation, so we won't say what in the edits, but I will say I'm excited for the journey ahead, because I'm grateful that they didn't leave it on the fact that, it's about money, because it was never about that. From my top, Devon was the top. And again, if you ain't watched the other recaps, you got to watch it. But Devon even goes into details, as well as Bello, my top 2. And like I'm going to emphasize this. Listen, Cardi, with exclusion of Cardi and Xavier, because Xavier didn't get enough time for us to really dive in. And Cardi, that was like my homegirl's guy in my mind, so we just didn't even touch bases. You know what I'm saying? So when it came to my tops handled what they needed to do in order to gain my interest, or make me feel comfortable, or make me feel secure, make me feel, like they are interested, like you are a top of mind. And if you were mine, I would take care of you. You know what I'm saying? So for me, Devon and Bello did an amazing job. Devon continues to show his character as a standout character, as well as Bello. So I'm really grateful that I got to meet both of them on the journey. Even bigger, though, I think that it kind of says something about everybody who left, other than Cardi, because like I said, Cardi, I didn't get to talk to him, so I can't measure him. But anybody else that I did get to talk to, it says a lot to the standards of what I was seeing that wasn't compatible. And with that reality, it was like, y'all really sat there on national television and attempted to act like you were and you can't eliminate me from life, but from this show. Let me be clear. You thought to be considerate was too much of an expectation is insane. I feel bad for whoever y'all get with if that is your actual mentality. Because let me tell you something. If me mentioning to my top and him offering whatever he decided, because I didn't ask him, and he'll go into that maybe. Or y'all just watch recap. It's in the D. It's on there. But, you know, without me even asking, these are some things that my top had mentioned. And for me, it was just clear. Everybody don't have the same mentality, standards, values, or even intention when you are pursuing, courting, or actually being intentional in dating. Okay, that was long-winded, but I'm done.
I want to chime in and just almost alley-oop. Now, Divine.
Well, that's exactly what I was about to do. That's what I was about to do. I was about to get everyone's thoughts on the situation. Let me set it up, and then you can answer, and then we'll come back to Christina. What I wanted to ask you guys was, were you okay with the two that was on the carpet, and what was your thoughts on her being not ready to love?
I thought Ina looked too good in that Diana Ross outfit, to really even be considered to be eliminated, right. And to really set the stage of everything, y'all. By the time this elimination kind of came around, we probably were filming for a good, I would say,
3-4 weeks.
Yeah, well, not only 3-4 weeks, but I'm saying in the course of the day, we had got there super early. We were a little bit delayed, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and it just. It's always shocking because the time goes by super, super, super quick. And like Ina pretty much chimed in on, we really didn't get to connect a lot beyond and having certain conversations. So when you're making these things, and it's just like, dang, Diana, gone this soon,
Right,
So really, I know we're gonna pass it around and ask the opinions, but I'm really curious to know with Devon, what was going through your mind to have to, pretty much be the person in charge of giving this news.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how much behind the scenes I want to talk about, but it was a surprise to me. So in the moment, I was just sort of in shock. To your question, every girl on the show was in real life is dope. It's like a baddie.
Yes.
You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? So, you're trying to parse out, you're trying to figure out who did enough to stay on the show. And I guess that's what it comes down to. And I think because Ina in particular, her personality is so big, she has the gravitational pull of a sun. Anyone, she commands a lot of attention in any room. So it was a surprise, I think, for everybody who was there that she was selected, including us. It was you saw the faces on the show. It was
that was real time.
Is that possible?
Real faces.
Is that real? And also, another thing is that that day and that date was particularly fun. I think, I'll just speak for myself, but I was having a great time. And when they were
massaging you and rubbing your leg.
You said,
Yeah, because I kept massaging you and rubbing your leg.
Yo.
That's new.
No, it was on the show.
It was on the show, yeah.
It was on the show.
I got to rewatch.
Yeah.
So then when it came to the end of the night and they were all right, now somebody's got to go. It was whoa, we having a party, dog.
A real party.
Chill out, relax. And that's really all that was going through my head was
Dang, the party's
yo,
over.
the vibes. You're killing the vibes to even have to think about this.
Yeah.
But, that is what we were there for, so.
Midnight Train.
Yeah.
I want to know Xavier's thoughts.
Well, I was unfortunate to be sitting with the audience and watching it just like you guys. So it was actually interesting to see the two people end up on the red carpet and a lot less stressful. So,
Yeah, not for you because you weren't down there.
That's it.
Well, what did you think about the two people who was actually down there?
So I have a little bit of limited perspective because I have the perspective of being on set or, being on the journey and understanding how things go. But at this point, being able to watch it like someone, in the stands and understanding that all isn't what meets the eye. So it's a little bit.
I like that. That's the
6'7".
ah!
But yeah, no, I mean it is what it is. That's how the journey goes. So I mean, good, bad, and different. You're there, and
Yeah.
that's it.
Thank you, Xavier. Before we continue with Christina, I wanted to chime in on Donna right quick. Let's start with Cardi. Was the religion thing? Did you get wind of that? And how did you feel about that her perspective on religion?
I felt that we all found out about that at the same time. And for me, I always want to get more clarity. So really right before Eliminations, I was talking to Donna, and I had probably another, maybe at like the first mixer, or no, the skating party, we had talked just shortly. So to talk to her a little bit before, and then we chimed in on that really kind of a little bit, but I wanted to know more about her family, because when we had talked, I'm really big with family, and we chimed in a little bit more, and it was just, I don't know, it's always very interesting when you hear something from a third party, and I feel that the energy that you really get when you kind of confront things and to kind of see, because it's like, well, where else could this go if we do have a romantic like connection? But initially, like just hearing that, it's being black, having a black mama, having black family, you generally are going to have strong opinions on religion, no matter if you consider yourself religious or spiritual. And it's really like, well, what is your outlook kind of on this? And other than, hearing it to say, okay, well, may have a bias, how is this person, because if we believe in love, and if you are religious, God is love. So it's like, how could you be ready to love if that's not the case, but everybody is different,
Right.
So that's my take on it.
Right. Devon, did you have any did you have any conversations with Donna about the religion, and how did you get wind of it if you didn't have any conversations with her?
Yeah, definitely. I talked to Donna about religion, like at the roller rink, and actually, I had like a very similar situation myself, because I think in the lounge someone said that I didn't believe in God too. Anyway, so I knew from my conversation with Donna, I didn't get that she didn't believe in God from what we talked about. And in fact, I heard that she was mad at me because I didn't stand up for her in the lounge. But we only had one conversation about it. And I wasn't sure that maybe I misunderstood and maybe she didn't. So my bad, Donna, for not standing up for you, long story short. But it did not bother me because I don't think that me and Donna are actually that far apart in the way that we believe. I don't think. So, but I also know that I'm unusual in that regard. Because like I said, accusations were, not accusations, but people said mistakenly that they thought that I didn't believe in God based off of some things that I said because I was spiritual or whatever, that I'm not religious. So I felt very sympathetic to that. But yeah, that wasn't my understanding of her belief. Long story short. There you go.
Okay. Now, let's come back to Christina. Now,
just one thing, Big
Okay,
Trav.
go
I
ahead,
wanted
go ahead.
to see if Ina has like a particular take on that as well.
I definitely do.
Okay.
And the only reason why I wanted to step onto that is because I love God. Everybody who know me know how much I love God, and God is the biggest. God is the biggest, y'all. So the reality is I don't judge nobody for what they believe in. That's number one. I started out as a Catholic. I went to catechism, Catholic school, confirmation. We did all the 9, okay? So it gave me the core understanding, right? So I don't necessarily agree with, thanking just the universe. I thank God, the Holy Spirit, the universe. All of them work in order, because God commands, and we, as creators, we command, and the universe listens, and manifesting is very real, So as creators, I think that we get to decide how we understand things. And when we gain wisdom, sometimes it may be so much that we don't actually understand. So I'm not saying that she doesn't understand God as to why she's not claiming God, you know. But what I will say is, in the ladies' lounge, that conversation did get addressed, and it made it easier for us to understand where she was coming from. No, she doesn't speak to a deity like God or, call out a name, but she does believe that there's a higher power. And so in that sense, that's just, again, to each their own. I can't say that because I talk straight to God. God is in me. You know what I'm saying? So I would say that we have different opinion, and when she did go into details, I still didn't agree. So when we were at the bottom, I'm like, how? She don't believe in God. And that was the first thought. Which I thought many people first thought, right? But as we really understand, it's not that she don't believe in God. It's like, she don't believe in what you believe in. How are you equally yoked? You know what I'm saying? So past not her believing God, because I won't say that she don't believe in God. Donna, I did not say that in a way. I was just saying like that was my thought, but I didn't say that aloud until now. But she does believe in a higher power. So I think that with that being the case, and you're not willing to raise your child in the same form as these men on the platform, how was I the one to go home? I love God. I thought that was the basis of the relationship.
Let me ask you this. So it did. So her position on religion did get back to the ladies.
Yes, and that's why, like, the only reason why I even spoke to my top 3 is because I knew that because of the conversations in the lounge, they were definitely getting back to them. Okay. And I wanted to express in clarity and understanding why that conversation or why all of you had it. And it was because he did so well with his. I just felt like I needed to give y'all a chance. You know what I'm saying? And again, Bella did a great job other than him not responding. So for me, knowing that all of that got, like, the massage conversation got so misconstrued and talk about I'm asking for money when I never asked for $1, it made me realize, yeah, with this conversation, any conversation is getting back to the lounge, really.
Okay.
And that's why our conversation got brought up, because I'm such a transparent person. Like, you knew who I was talking to, you knew the whole thing, and so did Bello, and so did Chris, because when I told Bello, I was like, I gotta let you go, and respectfully. Chris was the same way. Y'all saw, if y'all actually look, because they did show it in the clips, y'all saw me massaging Devon when they let us go to party. I talking about something. Oh, you like this? She talking about something, the material, the boyfriend. I'm like, listen, all I know is I was where I wanted to be. So I could not, in my mind, understand how I got eliminated.
I got a question just real quick, Big Trav, and
Okay.
for everybody here.
Okay.
Do you feel that at any moment, any of y'all ever felt comfortable through this process?
You mean, what do you mean?
Well, comfortable as meaning that you are safe and that you've done enough to not ever risk elimination.
Oh, for certain. For certain.
You felt comfortable?
Yeah, for like that good, like after the second mixer until like the Motown party, I felt pretty comfortable.
Oh, until the Motown party.
Yeah.
So pretty much for an episode, you saying you felt good.
No, till after that.
Till after that, when the men were in power, you felt good, essentially.
No. Okay, let me think about the timeline here. So from the second mixer, even at the second mixer, I felt comfortable. I felt good.
Okay.
I felt good at the roller rink. I felt good at the Motown party, and then after that.
Zay, how about you?
I mean, I was comfortable the whole time.
Okay.
Maybe too comfortable. But what you didn't see is that I had a lot of great times with a lot of the cast, and I mean, it was a blast. But you can't control the outcome, and such is life. So be ready for the curveball, and that's what happened. So I got cut when it was unexpected. And there was a lot that you didn't even see during that night, but. It was a great journey, and I would do it again the same way.
Can I say something else?
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I feel like being part of this experience was very strange. And it was very hard. In my real life, there is no way that I would get this intimate with any woman in 2 weeks or whatever it was. So I had to like purposefully and intentionally make myself vulnerable enough to like even have the experience. And to me, what that meant is opening up and just getting to know each woman individually to the best of my ability, or at least the ones that I was interested in. But part of the experience is also sort of managing the timeline, this unnatural timeline that I honestly feel like nobody is equipped to handle, not in real life. Who's fallen in our ripe old age? Who's fallen for people in 6 weeks? Like I can't even fathom that. Like that's.
I can. I know people.
Listen.
2 days.
I'm love skeptical.
That's what you said, isn't it?
Yeah, you can lick your neck.
Somebody's neck in 2 days.
And you want to be. Let me smell you. Do you smell good?
You know, you know what? On that note, you know, I'm in the if you guys don't know, there is a Ready to Love Detroit Facebook page, and they are brutal.
Goodness.
They are brutal in there. So per what he just said, one of the comments in the group was pertaining to the men. They said Darius was the only real Detroit man on the show.
Okay.
How do you guys respond to that?
Let me just chime in because I rock with Darius, but my thing is this: what is your definition of a real Detroit man? You know, is it women that are making this, you know, assumption? You know, is it other guys that are agreeing with the women? You know, like right.
I mean, we know
so
what
she's
it
not
is.
a real Detroit man unless she could be in an alternate universe or maybe on television. Who knows? But the thing is that a lot of these people with assumptions about Detroit has never been to Detroit. They don't know real Detroit men. And what I would welcome anybody who's watching this or that's watching the show is watch it. You know, don't necessarily just criticize it and say, well, you know what, this is that. You don't really know him, nor do you know any of us. But through this actual, like, this is a small snapshot of our life, you know? And what I would encourage anybody to do is go on television and date 10 women at the same time.
Yeah.
And you know, and see if you can make them happy.
Exactly.
You know?
Real talk.
You may have problems at home with one. You may not be able to get a particular date. So, you know, what I'm saying is that, you know, everybody here has done something that is truly a test on yourself of not only your character, your purpose, and your intention. And it's made us all better at dating. It's made us all better at being able to answer different questions and be able to do things intentionally, you know, because like you mentioned, Big Trav, that Facebook group is particularly brutal, but a lot of those people, the people that have been on television before, generally aren't as critical. And it's easier to technically, you know, step away to be like, well, I would have did this. I would have did this. Do it.
Yeah.
Turn the camera on.
Yeah.
You know, sit with an audience of one, an audience of two, and, you know, talk about what's real, because I guarantee you it's much easier to criticize than to captivate.
Yeah.
And let me say this too. I feel like, you know, we know. I know. Like,
So
I'm
we
here
know.
from Detroit. I know what a stereotypical Detroit person, man is.
Yeah.
Like, it's a character, and that's not a shot. That's not a shot at characters. I'm just saying, like, there's a particular image of a Detroit man that is very different from the reality.
Absolutely. Portrayed.
Closer to me than Darius, I think.
Yeah.
Personally. Now if you're from Detroit, you know that. You know that. But we also know that there's a particular swag about Detroit that is famous, like that we all know. With the Cardinals, you know what I'm saying? Everybody.
The styles.
Yeah.
The culture.
And it's like, as true as that is, that also exists here, the majority of black men from here are regular.
Yeah.
But you have,
There's a time and a place, though. I think they understand that there's a time and a place for certain. Like,
If you talk to Darius, if you ever meet Darius, he's
awesome. Very awesome.
you know what I'm saying? He's a regular guy.
Love
You
God.
got so many different types. So I do like the time and the place, and I don't mean to cut you off, Divine, but you got the Motown era. You know, you have growing up, our parents, like we all are, you know, roller skated and listened to music and really did different things, you know, and that's what makes Michigan and Detroit, the metro area, so diverse. You know, it's so diverse because we all know people like Darius and we all know people like Devon. We know people like Xavier, you know. I knew Xavier before the experience and didn't even realize it. You know, it's so crazy because we so close, but we so far away. So, you know, Detroit is a real small place. So it's like you really want to be cautious of who you talking about and when you talking about, because you may just be sitting next to who you talking about.
Yeah, or they
So in other
family.
words, it was just an exaggerated
more than likely that person never been to the city. And it's just like, if you feel so strongly to talk about it, be about it. Just come through. Because when you meet somebody, the biggest thing that I can say is that we predicate a lot of stuff on respect. It could be life or death, and then all of a sudden somebody be like, I didn't mean that. It's like, well, why you got to do that? You know? So
I think for a lot of women, actually, who live in the city, Darius represents sort of an ideal.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? An ideal Detroit guy that I think is very problematic, personally. But so I get that and I understand that. But I think those women are often have just like a toxic value system. And look, I know it's hard not to interpret that as a shot, but I just feel like I don't share those projected values, and most black men I know from the city also don't share the sorts of values that cause you to be that materialistic. And you know, it is what it is. I don't know. I just take that for it.
Let me just say this, Xavier. How long have you lived in Detroit?
Thank you for the question.
Oh, because it's coming. Because, like, what are y'all even talking about? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because what is a Detroit man? And, like, I'm offended by
Exactly.
that statement only because
Their limited
Detroit
perspective.
is so diverse. You got hustlers, you got businessmen.
Yes,
you
sir.
have-
Yes,
born,
sir.
raised, and still live in Detroit. So what the fuck does that mean? Excuse my French.
That means they're limited in their perspective.
And that's what I have a problem with. The box.
Yeah,
People
don't put
that
nobody in a box.
Anything in a box have limited thinking. So to say that any one person represents a whole city.
Yes,
is a
sir.
problem.
Yes, sir. That just represents what you're used to.
And to Cardi's point, people that speak that finitely about anything, a lot of times you'll find that they had a least experience. They may not even be from the city.
And if they are, but I'll give them this, if they are from the city, then that means you hang around with either that certain crowd or that type of environment that looks like that, or you just have not seen different. Because here's the thing, you could be on the east side of Detroit and you can see businessmen, you can see very wealthy men, because what it's like East Point or something's right next to it. You know what I'm saying? So you never know what you're going to find over there. And then you come to the west side and find the same thing. I think that what a person should look for when you're looking to see if that's a Detroit man, baby, is that nigga a hustler? Do that nigga got that spirit in him? Do that nigga got that heart? Is that about to come up? Excuse my French. Is he about to sit here and make it known, don't play with me? Because at the end of the day, we all understand it's a respect thing. I'm going to respect you if you respect me. We lead with respect because we understand we don't want no problems. Already know it might take one look. It could take one word before a man want to sit here and knock you out. So they are very cautious about how they present themselves and how they receive things. Because at the point where you offended me, man, I'm going to watch you real quick. And now we're going to see if I need to knock your little ass out or not. And that's the reality. It's Detroit. Detroit versus everybody because y'all feel us when we come up in the city. And if you ain't felt them, because you might need to pull up in T and the D and see them in real time. These some Detroit man, real life.
I'll tell you what, man, we could do a podcast on that topic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's move on. Let's wrap Christina up. Christina, what have you learned from this process?
Well, listen, I will say that in 1 second, but let me go back to about comfortable. So for me, I think I was always comfortable on the show, even when I was in elimination spaces. You know what I'm saying? Because I went in a way, all right, God, what you got for me? And if it ain't here, maybe it's something bigger. You know what I'm saying? Or someone else that might see me on here. So I never just shut down at the potential to negatives, right? What I did notice, though, was what I did as to why I didn't get so disappointed or feel so uncomfortable was all of these people was my homies. And at the point where you show me you don't want to be my homie, you'll elevate up out of that. You know what I'm saying? Because there was very limited men who elevated up out of that perspective. Like, for me, I think that I could understand me being in the bottom when it comes to, this is a thing where multiple people are voting, and I didn't lay my eggs in all the baskets, baby. Because, that's thin. We don't do that. You know what I'm saying? I put my eggs where I felt was valued. I'm not going to give all of y'all a piece of me if y'all didn't show me that you're actually intentional, you're purposeful. You know, I was happy where I was at. Devon being my top, we were solid. Well, I gotta bring it up one more time. That's my boo. We were solid other than his boo. Okay, I don't even know how solid that sounds.
Devon wasn't here the other week, and I kid you not, she called Bello your name 8 times. She would correct it, and then, she'd be like, listen, I don't know why I keep calling you, you Devon Bello. So then Devon, and he's just like, I've never been called that much in my life.
But the thing is, and every time I would say it, dang there, Dominique would remind me, but I'm his boo. I'm like, yes, you are. That is what that came out of his mouth. So for me, I think it really wasn't no uncomfortable moments because I really was willing to accept whatever the outcome was. And I really made a lot of great people. Xavier is great. We even went trick-or-treating with my kids because my cousin and him worked at the same spot. And it just happened. It was a great time, a really great time, And when you get to know these people on this journey, it's like, what I want to tell you all, it might look like the end, baby, but it is just the beginning. I am so grateful to God, you know what I'm saying? For real. Tyler, did you see me? Perry. I'm just serious, though. Not kidding.
Dennis Reed, she's a great actor.
Okay, because period.
Shout out to Dennis Reed.
Because you never know what the purpose of the things that you do. Well, you never know the outcome. You may lead with an intention to do something, but God's plan for you may be something completely different. That's why when I got eliminated, I was like, okay, my man is not here. Y'all don't like to provide for your women. You feel like that is too much. Y'all got to take that with God because, listen, if you feel like being a provider is a problem, baby, that's between you and God. And for me, I'm glad that my top 2, they didn't have a problem. And I honestly felt like y'all felt like, what's wrong? It wasn't that deep other than I was like telling the 3. But at least I was transparent. I was honest. And I was letting them go when I let them know.
Can I chime in?
The guys with the dope don't have a problem with
Okay, good.
with your
Okay, say that again. What did you say? Say no.
To jump on, no, I just wanted to jump on the comfortability answer and stuff too. I feel that through this process and just generally in life, you grow the most in uncomfortable situations. And the things that the audience is thinking, like, oh, okay, the cast is thinking. Yeah. We're figuring all of this stuff out in real time as we are having discussions and in-depth conversations with everybody who has different personalities. So imagine, being able to connect, nevertheless bond with, or bond, nevertheless connect with someone who just thinks completely different than you do, where you may have different outlooks of life. So I felt personally there were moments of me being comfortable, but I was uncomfortable a whole bunch. You get to the first, we go to Misfit Island and you getting eliminated. It's like, how, Sway? And it's like, well, let me take these braids out, and I see people, yeah, he took the braids out. Now he's thinking, and it's crazy because in real time, it's like people want to criticize you, especially when they don't know you. Then they get to know you, and then you go from antagonist to protagonist. It's almost like watching that Marvel movie Venom. You really get a liking for like the bad guy or the person, And the thing is that really get to know people before you are judgmental, because a lot of things that we're judging or can judge would really have insecurities of ourselves. Exactly. And sometimes people's securities is enough to set off our insecurities. It's like a smoke detector, So change that smoke detector battery, boss up, and get in front of the camera. Hey. Let's go.
Expected to move to choose at a rapid speed like that. I know that the girls were comfortable with most of them, and I know I wasn't comfortable with. I was like, what? We just met. I'm still getting to know you. I gotta choose. I'm still discovering new things about people, things that are making folks more unattractive to me, and things that are making stuff, people more attractive in real time. We're halfway through the show, and I'm like, so. Yeah.
So real quick, to pivot on that, based off the comfortability, You bossed up on Misfit Island, went in for the kiss with Dom. After that, did you ever feel like it was a moment where you felt that with Ina of being your top connection?
Wait, I thought what?
Of going in for the kiss the same way with Dom, or do you feel?
There was no opportunity.
Oh, it was no opportunity. Okay.
I mean, first off, that moment happened supernaturally because of the levels of spirits.
I love how you put that. I love how you put that. I love how you put it.
I'm talking about, the astral plane.
What can Brown do for you?
It was, that was a particular moment. It doesn't. You can't tell this from the actual show. We were there for a long time.
We were.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that was like at the end of a pretty lengthy time with and we spent a lot of time together. That's when I really got to know her and we connected. You know, even she'll tell you, it was like there was no games involved. Like that was real. It was really good connect. And, it is what it is.
100%.
Let me get back to Christina. What was your takeaway? What did you get out of this experience?
Whew, that's a question. Well, we got a lot of comments. We got a lot of. No, I'm kidding. Because I think that it makes you want to watch your mouth a bit, just a bit. And not in a way that you are not being real, because I'm always going to want to be real. But I think that how you say things is there's definitely a difference. And I know that. But for a show where there's potential opportunity to edit, you want to be very intentional, and it makes you want to be very short and concise. So we're working on the long-winded part. But however, I don't think that I've taken anything in a way to change, other than like how I approach it, like conversationally wise. Other than that, like I'm still gonna have the standards that I hold. My daddy didn't work all these years and still providing and and showing me such a great standard for me to lower mine to accommodate for someone who's not compatible. It doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're whack. It doesn't mean you ain't nothing. It just means we're not compatible, and that's okay. And that's where I am in life. Like, I do have two amazing, intelligent, handsome, favored by God children, boys. You know what I'm saying? And I vowed to myself I would never bring someone who would not be able to be a example to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to, at this point, moving forward and even going into this journey, I said to myself, number one, I want to do my best to be my most self, because God has already showed me I can come naked and unashamed before him. So that's number one. Number two, I also understood that I've already learned some lessons, as to why I'm single with two children, beautiful, amazing children, which I'm grateful for. So I would never feel embarrassed that I got children. My babies is goats. So the reality is, I understand now, because how great they are and how great I have a level for myself, how much I work. Y'all see me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even gonna say nothing. Y'all see me. So how much I do, I'm not even gonna list it. Other than make sure y'all check out Darlin, just dropped tonight on all digital downloads. DARLIN, type in INALIS. But whatever the case, I just know I work really hard in order to be myself and the purpose that God has for me. And for me to not be very particular, very picky when it comes to compatibility, standards, consideration, all of these natures that a man should have. A man who's in a position mentally and ready for a wife, right? If it's a man just out here just enjoying the world, that's fine, but we're not compatible. You know what I'm saying? So.
Okay, I tell you what. Well, I tell you what, you've done great on the show. And
thank you.
So how do you plan to further this opportunity? Do you have any plans? Have you figured out how to use this opportunity to do something bigger?
Well, you know what? My big old brain, it just keeps moving. So we do have T and the D, so make sure y'all stay weekly, because even though I'm not on the show anymore, I definitely will give you my perspective of how, because I wasn't looking to get picked. Let's see how the people who wanted to get picked.
Ina go
Look.
give you that tea.
Because for real, and I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to do it respectfully because I saw some things out online, and we're just going to address it real quick, that, you know, if I know you, I think let's keep it respectful. If I don't know you, do what you do. You ain't got no, you don't have nothing, no attachment to me. So with that being said, make sure y'all follow me on all social media platforms, INA, and on Instagram it's _, but the underscore is for the space, LIS. I am just taking all the opportunities that God is giving me, and I am the hustler from Detroit that is willing and ready to maximize. Let's go.
I'll tell you what, good luck on your endeavor. And listen, and I know your work ethic, and I know you're gonna do your thing. So.
Thank you, but I would like to say this. On all and everything that this journey has allowed me to have, I just want to give all glory and honor to God and my family who has led me and who has my sister, J.M. Pozon, on Instagram. She even put me on this platform by telling me about it and pushing me because I'm like, I'm a private person. Unless I'm sending y'all to go somewhere to look at my music or come to my, you know, event.
You would not know that from them clips. You know, I have to say, Ina, just to chime in, you have such a big personality that comes, like, people will have an opinion about you. You know, whether it be positive, whether it be negative, whether it be I love her. And it's beautiful to see. You know, I think she does well in real life and especially on television. And that's hard to do. It's hard for people to get across not only a point, but to be able to relate to you. And, you know, anytime that you can start that many conversations, then you can shut down a room. So it's great. It's sad to see her journey end on the big screen, but it will continue on exactly. Let me cook. You know, it will continue on T and the D, and then there will be numerous great opportunities that this will segue into. God willing.
And we definitely will see her again. Now I
Absolutely.
want to move on to Cardi. Cardi, you and Dom,
Cardon.
was the name that she came up for you guys. I'm just gonna ask you right away. Where are the Backstreet Boys from?
Oh, I still don't know. I really don't know. I mean, it was I wore the shirt today, but you know, it's the Cardi experience.
I love it. Make sure
You know.
y'all go get that.
Oh yeah. Tap
Merchandise
in.
available.
Tap in. Oh yeah. You know, sizes and everything. But it was.
I'm Cardi.
I still have no idea where the Backstreet Boys are from. I thought we're about to win because I'm very like competitive. So when the waiter came over, it was trivia day, and I'm like, oh, I know what it is. You know, I took out a pen. You know, I had my own. You know, and that was cool. But no, they came back to back, and when it was 3 Backstreet Boy questions, I'm like, it's a wrap.
They're from Orlando, Florida.
Oh, they're from Orlando? Okay.
I thought it'd be cool to share that.
Oh, yeah, no, I appreciate it. If I'm ever asked it again and I'm on television, I'll definitely know now.
Now, well, let me ask you about Dominique.
Yep.
Going into that, what were your thoughts? What did you think was going to happen, and then what was your thoughts after the day?
Well, it's interesting because the chemistry that I have with Dom is always, I feel, organic, and it's always something new that you learn with talking with her, you know, and having discussions. And I really feel that once like her drink of choice hits the table, which is Don Julio and Red Bull, you know, and a lot of times, you know, I'm the type of person where I'm like, well, give me what she getting, you know, so then it's the same thing that's on the table, you know, and it's like you know it, but it was really easy going and it was really refreshing compared to like I really didn't have to do too much and kind of figuring it out, you know. Sometimes you're kind of sitting down if you're talking to somebody else and it's like, does this person, you know, understand what I'm saying, or, you know, are we vibing really, you know, because people will look at you and they'll be like, you know what, I didn't like Cardi at all, and it's just like, okay, cool, you know. But with her, it was really as you get to know more and you open up different layers, and that's why I asked the relationship question, like, okay, so, you know, when was your last relationship, you know, what happened, you know, and you have these moments of not only vulnerability, but, you know, you may bond with a person through not only what they say, but, you know, how they say it. And it's like, okay, cool. And you really see that she's a real person, you know, like she has a beautiful exterior, but she's a lady and she makes it easy to talk to. You know, sometimes people will be like, well, how'd you do this? You know, and you'll see different things with different women, and not chopping at any woman, but it's easier to get your particular jab in when you know that you have the upper hand. And for her, she always kind of shows grace. So long story short, it was great.
Christina, I got a question for you.
Hold on, what'd you say? What'd you say?
Oh, okay. Oh, thank
you
you so
gotta roll.
much. It
All
was.
right,
We love having you. Thank
Yes.
you so much for coming.
Always, G.
I wanted to ask you, how would you characterize your relationship with Dominique?
So on the show, I didn't really get to know Dominique as much other than the quick conversations, but I think that those conversations just showed me that she was seasoned. She understood men in a way maybe more romantically than maybe I do, because like everybody my dog, like we what up though, you know what I'm saying, because I grew up with my daddy and my brothers. I got 3 brothers. I got my daddy and that host of guy cousins. It's like it was only 2 girls, you know, in the whole bunch other than my cousin, but like it's me and my sister and 3 brothers, you know, and then a whole bunch of guys. So for me, I felt in a sense I always feel a little bit more I wouldn't say more comfortable, but I don't know. I think I could read it a little more what their intention is. So for me, it was like, if I didn't feel like you were really intentional trying to dive in and get to know me, then you might not really be interested in me, and you might be interested in my body or the moment. You know what I'm saying? We trying to get into feelings. I don't really do feelings, you know. A good friend of mine says feelings are these ugly little things, and I know you can turn them on or off, you know. So I don't really get stuck there, because you find yourself a river that you cried. You know, we're past that. So Dom showed me that, you know, there is a way to say it with still having the same outcome or the same understanding, you know. So I love Dom for the fact of observational and being able to learn from her. And then I even love her more because after the show, I got to really dive into her and really grow with her and understand more about her. She's a great person, you know, and she's beautiful, like we all see. I don't think I ever took that away from her, you know. Like tonight, she was gorgeous. That black and white, love flips with the dips. You know what I'm saying? Can't nobody take nothing from her when it comes to her beauty and when it comes to how she knows how to communicate. So I think that, me and Dom already been talking about working in the future together. So I love Dom, and I wish nothing but the best for Dom. And, you know, she everybody boo, cause she know how to line them up.
Okay, sounds good. I wanted to ask about, did they get Ed and Vince right? If everybody watched the show tonight, did they get Ed and Vince right for being on the carpet?
I wanna see if Zay, you know, answering that first.
We're the same people I got to know on the journey, so I didn't see anything. I mean, everybody responds to stress a different way, so whether or not their character may have gotten tweaked, you know, from the cameras, I mean, that's just, you know, personal whatever, but everybody was good people.
My particular take on it is that it was really shocking, of course, of seeing it, you know, of both of them. And then both of them, I definitely do feel line up as to what we're seeing portrayed. I mean, there's a lot more to unpack, but it was really good to see Chris personally, his actual journey, you know, and him being pretty vulnerable and unpacking different things. Because, you know, a lot of times you'll hear around the set with production and stuff, well, go deep. And this is like, well,
Yeah.
what is deep? You know what I'm saying? Well, go deeper, you know what I'm saying? But Chris understood the assignment. You know, he talked about his past. He did other things. And even in certain connections that you can see that he's not connecting, but he's still trying. And see, the thing is to where we all have like a relationship now to where when everything is done and like as you get to know more, it's like, well, you know, that was dope. I could have made the wrong, you know, women are like, I could have made the wrong, you know, decision. And guys are like, I could have made the wrong decision. But, you know, it was good to see that. It was good to see Ed's journey as well, because I love rooting for love. So when I sit back and I look and I'm like, you know, will they end up together? You know? Mm-hmm. And seeing it from an audience, you know, point of view, and then to see how like it kind of comes to an end, it's like, wow, this is emotional, you know?
Yeah.
Like, where is my popcorn and my Vernors, you know? Like, you know, when you need it, you know? So I think it was pretty solid.
Let me back up and clarify. I actually feel like I got to know Ed a little bit, and I feel like, I don't like to use the word feel, but I feel like Ed is similar to myself in that he keeps his cards very close to his chest or vest or whatever the saying goes. He's slow to unravel, and I think that's a healthy thing, but not for TV. So in that, you know, I think he did his thing. the outcome was a curveball for everybody. That was
For
somebody-
everyone.
eliminations?
3 eliminations is
Same
insane.
episode?
Yeah.
Insane.
Insane.
So for me, like when it came to the bottom 2, I was like, number 1, I think that Chris is like Christina, bro. We are just misunderstood. I promise you. Because Chris may have talked about trying to, get to know all of the women. But I think that he definitely had his top, and that once he saw that maybe I might be in the bottom or whatever happened from, that moment with the massages and us having that conversation that wasn't really too in depth for him to gain complete clarity, it made him really focus on other connections, right? And so for me, I think that he was in a space where he was trying to juggle who he was versus who he has to be in this show. And in this show, it's like, yo, you got to open up real fast. You got to be like moving fast because it's very accelerated. You're here from the very early morning to the late night, and the reality is, shoot, you might get hangry. You might just be sleepy. It may just be how you are in that moment because of the day. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I think that they may have got Chris on some different moments, but Chris has always been a solid character to me. I think that he opened up very vulnerably to a lot of these women where, we had this ugly duckling stage of our lives.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
and
y'all had that.
we
y'all had
definitely
that
did.
in-depth discussion.
Exactly. So for me, like I said, it's the Chris's, we get misunderstood, but I really think that Chris was really there to find love. I think that when he made the connection with me, he was very genuine. It was very honest. I feel like that was not someone that I saw going home other than when I saw the clips. And it was like, damn, you ain't saying the same thing to me that you're saying to them, because you look like you playing a game to them. On the show, they made it seem like, dang, are you playing? It's hard to tell because they wasn't getting as much of him that I was getting, And then Ed, well, listen, me and Ed had nothing to talk about when I saw Little Sweetheart. She, what is it, high school sweetheart or college sweetheart. So for me, I didn't pursue Ed.
That's what I was about to ask.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that Ed was a victim because of how Nicole felt about it? Did the ladies? I wonder if did the ladies know how Nicole felt about it?
Now, here's the thing. I think that we knew too much. You know what I'm saying? In a way that, bro, why is you lingering her on? If you do not like her, you need to sit down and have a hard conversation so you can at least be friends and save the relationship. Because what I learned is everybody you meet may not be your romantic partner. They may be a friend on your journey. You know what I'm saying? So find out why God put her in your life. But I think that allowing that fairy tale to sit without shutting it down in a way to let the other women know, hey, yo, I'm open. I'm here ready to love. I'm not just here for her. I think that he was playing in a little bit more to attempt to make that a connection. But here's the thing. As we see what he did with Shannon, and other than the few negative things that he said on his last comments, I think that I don't have no issues with Ed. I think that, from after the show, he's always been a great person to me, so I have nothing poor to say about him. But I will say, when it looked like he was entertaining Shannon, it was very flirtatious and very touchy. When he was entertaining Nicole, it was like, what do you need from me, baby? I'm going to give you what you need. You know what I'm saying? He's willing to give the women what they need. And for me, I don't want you to give everybody what they need. I want you to make sure you want to give me what I need. You know what I'm saying? So on top of Nicole, he wasn't an option for me at all. So I think that I could definitely see Ed in the bottom because everybody else was like, you real friendly and you're lingering her on. You're not shutting it down. And, for after all them years, if you ain't, like Ashley said, that was crazy how she said it, though. If you ain't seen it yet. You didn't know her for over 8 years, and you ain't seen it yet. You know what you're talking about, right?
Let me chime in on this of just of that, and this is something, and it's very interesting, Ina, how she puts it. But Ina not fooling nobody. She want Chris's recipe for what he is wearing and smelling. Because it's one. Right. See, she's trying to give y'all the sauce because she's still thinking about it.
Smells so
but
good. That don't build the relationship. That just builds
It just captivates it.
excitement a little
But
bit,
but
yeah.
there's another thing that I want to point out for the audience and things that imagine now if you have a situation where you have 3 people that go home and you have established relationships, let's say with people. Okay, so it changes this whole game of Ready to Love, you know. So just something to kind of think about that you may not think about, because if you have established more relationships and, you know, more rapport, and then all of a sudden 2 of your connections are gone, you know, you have to now make or nourish other things, and people aren't thinking about that. You know what I'm saying? So it could set you up to go home if a stronger connection or something goes home. You see what I'm saying? Which is why,
I feel like he was
you know,
floating after I left.
Where
do I go now?
Right. Well, exactly. It's how close do you actually recoup or, you know, repair from that, you know? So I think there is a lot of, there is a lot of truth that I'm sure that Ashley said what a lot of women were thinking, like, well, how long is this going to go on? You know, because if she likes you so much now, you know, are you really into me?
Yeah.
You know, so to slow roll everything, like you were saying, Xavier, that's how I am, you know? Like within 6 weeks, I'm not, you know, how often, you know, do you say I love you to somebody in 6 weeks? You know what I'm saying? It probably, for me, it's never happened, you know? Yeah. I don't even love my pets in that amount of time. You know what I'm saying? It's like, are you going to eat today?
Oh, my God.
You know? You will. You know what I'm saying? All right, I digress.
But you know what? It seems like, well, it is an impossible task.
It's impossible.
But it's great entertainment.
It's great entertainment. It's great entertainment.
Let me ask you, there were a lot of dates on this episode.
A lot of dates.
What was the push? What was the message?
Well, I think this is really giving everybody what they wanted, because initially it's like we got back-to-back mixer, then we got this, and the same thing that we're all thinking, like, well, I wish they would go on more dates. You know, if you watch and you take your time, you start to see. And in those dates that were going on, you know, if you're not like Cardam to where you getting these Backstreet Boy questions, you know, there were some real nice dates. It was really good to see Lauren and Bello off the water, because that's something that's real big with Michigan. Like we're really the Great Lakes. But it also was really good to see Ashley and then Chris and, you know, bonding, you know, and he seemed to go deep on a lot of these dates, because he also had the workout one with Donna, and then, you know, with Vince. And then it was good to see Nikki and then Vince and then Nikki on or Nicole on the same date, you know, with Ed. And then there also was the date with Lauren and Lauren Devine and everybody, you know.
You see, none of them had my name in it, because I ain't going not one single date. I'm like, why didn't y'all show the date? Well, we did do a date, but where was that my dates? Other than the one group date, where was my dates?
Ina, you all on the internet. You are captivating all of this. If they Google Ready to Love Detroit, you go see Ina. You go see Ina cutting up. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
you know. You look at all them replays and the recap. But Xavier, how you feel, man? How you feel about all of these dates? And do you think it was necessary for this episode for people to really see and learn new stuff about, you know, one another?
Well, I'm a little jealous of the dates because I didn't have one.
Oh, okay.
But I got eliminated. No, but seriously, I think
Yeah.
you already touched on it, where I think this is what the audience has been waiting for. Because I mean, I've tapped into some reviews and things like that, and that has been one of the resounding comments, which is where the personal dates, because it feels
Yeah.
like it's mixer after mixer after mixer.
Yeah.
Mixer shit.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Well, I tell you what, let's wrap it up with your final thoughts for episode 6.
My final thoughts for episode 6, I can't wait to rewatch everything again. I think that it does dig a little deeper, and it's good to see more and more personalities kind of open up and develop. And it just is, it's a journey, y'all. You know, every episode is crazy, because as I watch it and I recant, like, let's say these moments, and it's like, wow, like, it's still strange to see myself on television, you know, to be completely honest. But you see the things not only that have been said, but, you know, I relive them, and it's like, wow, like, this was dope. This was cool. And I'm very thankful for, you know, these relationships. And everybody just got to keep watching to see if and when, you know, love happens.
Period, definitely.
I just want to just be like, hey, man, who made it to the end?
I know, I jump right to the end. Can't say. Well, listen, before I wrap up and give my final thoughts, I just want to make sure y'all all follow or subscribe to @T in the D, and that's the tea that you drink. And make sure y'all also subscribe and follow the Big Trav Show. And so for me, to wrap it up, I felt like episode 6 was insane. How do we have 3 at the bottom? I think they were trying to let me know, you're not going alone. We love you. We're gonna send you with a group of support. We're not gonna eliminate you by yourself, like they did Xavier or like the other folks they did. Yeah, they no, not to you, but the previous eliminations were individual eliminations, right? So for them to not only do 1, but then 2, and then 3, it was like, oh my God, I was not expecting this. No. Y'all really tried to give us something that we could not call. Nobody could have called this. Nobody could have called this. I don't know. I think maybe I was expecting maybe they were just going to eliminate me or Donna. But no. That the fact that they actually eliminated 3 people, it was like, yo, we are trying to weed out anybody who we think is playing games. So now that we got these people that we thought were playing games out of the way, it's time to lock in, find these real connections, and figure out who's really ready to love. And make sure y'all tune in every Friday, 8, 7 Central on OWN, or right here with us at T and the D, because you don't want to miss it.
No doubt. Xavier, you got any final thoughts?
I'm locked in just like y'all, so I'm trying to find out what's going on. That's it.
Oh, last thing. The recap, okay, for what's about to happen next week, y'all gotta watch. I'm locked in like, yo, what is about to happen? But it is the Meet the Exes. So imagine going on a date and you talking to somebody that you like or multiple people that you like, and it's like, I want y'all to meet my ex. How good or bad could it go? Would you do it? What would you say? Episode 7.
I know, because y'all would have wanted to. Woo! That would have been.
What do you call it?
Listen, if I would have bought some of my exes, it would have been interesting. It would have been interesting. Everybody would be like, yeah, I know him. She was talking to him. He was talking to her. She was, look, that's why they're exes now, because they would have been like, yeah, they talk to all these girls. You can't have me. You can't have me. Yeah, that's why you're exes.
Well, hey, once again, thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank y'all.
Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to have an audience member come up and ask one of the cast members a question. If we can have her.
Yes, definitely. Come on up. Oh, gorgeous lady. Can we get a round of applause? Woo! You look gorgeous. Please tell us your name. Where are you from? Oh, before you do that, tell us about the bag, girl, because that bag is, yes, ma'am.
So this is a William Palmer bag. It is a Detroit designer.
Definitely.
Out here, I do brand coordinating for them. So, we make sure we support and walk around with it.
Absolutely. And go ahead and tell us who you are and where you're from.
So my name is Angela Castle. I'm from Brooklyn, but I moved here a couple of years ago.
Hey. Representing. Okay,
Yeah.
so what is your question?
So my question to you was, which guy did you feel like you connected the most with and actually could possibly see yourself talking to outside of the show?
Oh, I love that. That is a great question. Because, if they don't end up with them at the end, I guess we can see some, maybe. Or on national television, you didn't pick me, so maybe not. But if it was to go off a character, I would definitely say Devon. He was the top. He stayed the top. He never failed, other than when I saw him after the fact and said, "That's my boo." How is that your boo? If I'm yours, if I'm the one, how is there the one? That now it's confused. I don't like confusion. I let confusion go. But for me, I think that between Devon and Bello, I did pick 2 great characters. And throughout the show, I've seen how they respected women, how they handled themselves with other men, and it's just always been a respectful thing. Yeah. So, like I said, you can't go wrong with character, because if it's character that you are looking for, whether they're talking to you or another woman or another man, it's still going to be great.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Angela. Appreciate you.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think that, hindsight is 20/20. In this actual experience, my top people, I probably would select, I would say again, now knowing Ina, this has been great of getting to know and hosting, But yeah, I think that I really like. I love Dom, her personality. I love, just how easy she is of getting to know, and that the fact that it's always beautiful to learn from people. It's beautiful to be like, hey, this person can teach me like I can teach them. So I think that's solid. But yeah, I would say Dom. I would say Ina. Ashley, is great too. I love all the girls though.
Yeah.
I mean, I was really like that on the show. They were like, Carter, you like everybody, but it's like it's still so much. Yeah, like you can't get enough of Detroit women.
Let's give it.
I just want to ask the lawyer. He was
Go ahead.
Oh no, just insurance, just insurance.
Give a shout out to Christian. Christian, let's give it. Mr. Christian, make sure y'all come. Exactly. Make I said, make sure y'all follow at Mr. Christian on Instagram and the Shadow Gallery DET, because that is the spot to be, baby. You'll never know who you will see. It's always some type of big popping in the building, because we're here, so that's one. But on another note, some other big popping is always in the building. Sada Baby, Cash Dad was just here at a last watch party. There's always something. You never know who you're gonna see. It's the Shadow Gallery, baby.
Yep.
So if you swing by recap episode 7, you never know who you might run into here.
Absolutely.
That episode about to be crazy, y'all.
Podcast, man. So I'll tell you what, cast members, thank you guys once again.
Thank you.
And we're on next week?
Yes, we are. Next Friday. Find all your information at INA_LIS or at I'm Cardi or at T in the D. And we will have Big Trav, if he's available, with us doing our hosting, so that we can, and he'll go ahead and make sure you follow at Big Trav Show, so that you can find out more information on where location, time, and if we have a theme. We should call it the 3-piece out of here.
Listen, until next week, man. Peace.
God bless y'all. Bye for now. Thank y'all.
Thank everybody for coming and
Appreciate
watching.
y'all for coming, being so patient, and